there are a lot of people that their first look at HEX is going to be on the Ethereum network because they're going to pull up CoinMarketCap and they're going to go, what's this HEX thing I'm looking about?
It just seems like we were talking about this at the top of the episode. There's this departure from people, shiny new toy syndrome. Obviously, they're looking at PulseChain, they're looking at PulseX, and there's just, I feel like this kind of newer crowd that isn't really as familiar with HEX staking mechanisms and just doesn't understand it. And I'm wondering when that comes back in, Johnny. I don't know if you have thoughts about that, but I mean, maybe it's just a story I've created, but it just seems like people are not thinking about that right now.
They haven't been wrecked enough yet. They haven't been wrecked enough yet. They haven't had enough of permanent loss. They see numbers and they're chasing it. I'm actually going to put a video together on basic market dynamics. So, and I'm going to do it about hot dog stands to kind of do it in a kindergarten way to explain things to people. I kind of went on a little bit of a rant today. I'm like, that's a pretty good idea. I should really use that to kind of break things down. I don't know if you guys caught my Twitch today. I was actually trying to talk about, well, Ewok did. I know Ewok caught it.
I saw you yesterday. I didn't see today. I saw the yesterday rant.
Is Francis going to make an appearance?
Do what?
Is Francis going to make an appearance in the video?
Oh, should Francis be that? No, I just kind of wanted. I thought about downloading Doodly and then sitting here at the computer and actually just building it out because it's really kind of an important thing because people don't understand markets in general and arbitrage in general and how things work. When you see the outsiders are looking in and they see this one guy with this one stand that's making $1,000 a day and they're like, ooh, we see him making $1,000 a day, let us go do it. And then all the hot dog stands pop up around them, right? And then now all of a sudden none of them are making $1,000 a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of on that sort of note, I mean, I don't want to get in, it's a big spiel, but kind of on that sort of note to explain how markets work, how supply and demand works, how whales can make a play. Like, for instance, this guy sees this guy selling his hot dogs for cheap, so he buys up his hot dogs, and then he goes home, and then he changes his sign to where these hot dogs are now $2 each because he bought the other guy's hot dogs. I mean, I've done these same kind of things at like trade shows and events where I bought up people's supply. Now they don't have any supply, so they can't sell against me. So that's like another whale game, that people don't. There's all this nuance because they don't teach this kind of stuff in school.
No,
you have to learn through business on what kind of plays to make. To know where a demand is, to know how to control the supply. Richard talks about the De Beers diamond thing. Diamonds aren't really all that rare. But because De Beers owns them and they only ration them on the market, right? They can control the prices. You, as a whale in a community, guess what you can do if you're smart? You don't dump your bag. That's like taking all of your comic books to a pawn shop and going, what can I get for them? Instead of taking each comic book out and putting it on eBay and selling it for full price and making people fight over it, right?
Yep.
So if you go and you dump your whole bag of crypto, that guarantees you get the worst possible price in that time frame. You are literally making sure that you get the worst possible price in that time frame. If you know how markets work and you understand, then what you want to do is you want to ration those when they're in demand. You want to wait for the price to come to you. In order to do that, you can't treat it like a lottery ticket. In order to do that, you have to be in a position that you're comfortable when somebody comes along and they offer you a price, you can say, piss off. It's worth more than that. And I'm not taking less than this. Have you ever, sold a car or something and somebody comes in and tire kicks and says, oh, I'm only going to pay this much for it? And you say, absolutely not. I need this amount of money. Or are you one of those people going, yeah, sure, I'll take $1 for it?
Then it becomes on what you value, and we go back to that. What do you value what you hold? And if people are selling it for pennies, then they don't value it.
Right. And I think that comes from a lack of education and a lack of planning too. You have to know what you have to have some kind of a long-term goal and have all this stuff laid out to begin with. But I think what you're saying, Johnny, also gives people a lot of solace too, because then you can really focus on, instead of just looking at the USD price of a lot of these assets, you can look at the amount of tokens you have, not worry about that as much. And by playing some of these arbitrage games, and I don't mean necessarily ratio trading, but looking at ratios and understanding how they work and everything, you can more optimally make decisions to see what to take advantage of. Perfect example is exactly, we've been talking about it on the show for a few weeks, but what you're saying about the potential for the HEX on Ethereum T-share rate and the payout per T-share. I mean, if we do start to see an imbalance of significance to where what you're getting by staking HEX on Ethereum, even if there is a 50% split continuously as we move up the market from PHEX to EHEX, it's going to be beneficial to stake it.
It has other self-balancing mechanisms other than the liquidity itself. It has other self-balancing mechanisms. And the other aspect of that is what people don't understand is that the Ethereum side is closer to the exit that people are familiar with. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's also closer to the entrance.
Yep.
So when money is coming into crypto, it's going to be quicker for a lot of people to get into the Ethereum, just like it's quicker for them to exit the Ethereum side now. And I made a post about that, but I try to be really vague about these things because I'm not trying to influence people or tell them what to do. I'm just trying to let them know how things work and things to take into perspective that they might not be considering. Ethereum still has 10 million users. What do we got? 200,000?
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. That is really significant. There are a lot of people that their first look at HEX is going to be on the Ethereum network because they're going to pull up CoinMarketCap and they're going to go, what's this HEX thing I'm looking about? And they're going to look at it. PulseChain isn't even listed there, right?
Yeah.
So we're not able to find out who these people are and then say, no, let us explain, right?
They don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it. So they're just going to do their own research and they're going to come across the information that they're provided with and they're going to base their judgments on that. What has the most on-ramps right now? What has all the on-chain stables? What has redeemable value? What has all the leverage trading platforms, the yield farms, everything right now? Ethereum.
Yep.
So we're the new kids on the block and we need to wait our turn in line. You don't open up a mom and pop store and think you're going to take on the shopping mall overnight.